We are now.
I don't know. It fucking cracks me up.
McVelvet. Oh yeah. It's Mick Manhattan during the day, McVelvet at night.
There you
There
go.
you go.
After
There
once
you go.
once 9 p.m. hits,
That's it. You're getting McVelvet.
time for Mick Velvet.
You may even start at like 6 o'clock because he's old. He has to get velvety sooner because he gets tired. By 9 o'clock, he's tired. So about
I was up.
dad.
I will argue that I was in it last night for Stertovision.
You were, but you were tired. You would have been. Listen, if it wasn't for Stertovision, Mick Velvet would have been asleep.
Mick Velvet has to be there. He has to be the protector for his ladies. My OnlyFans is going to be about being there for the ladies. Whatever they want, I'm there for them. So,
I mean, if it wasn't for this, I'd be asleep right now.
See, old.
I am fucking.
I'm not going to argue that I might be too.
It's fair. You guys will probably have your little cheese before you go to bed first. Your cheese snack.
I'm not even going to lie to you. I will. I'm going to have a cheese stick.
I'm thinking about it. There's probably going to be cheese involved in whatever snack I have afterwards.
I respect that. I do love Cheez-Its, guys.
Sayonara, gentlemen.
And nice.
It's good to see you, fellas. I've missed you.
You missed you too, man.
I got you, man. How you feeling, though, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. I am well.
It wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah, that's why we ended up calling. I just asked James. James threw it in the air. So I was like, all right, Mick, it's up to you. Final call. And Mick said, let's just take a break. So we did. But glad you're feeling better, though, man. And I was joking on Patreon. I wasn't happy you were sick. But I'm happy. It was nice to have a week.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't think
I didn't say
you were being serious
like that,
until
guys.
now.
I didn't quite say it like that, guys.
Honestly, I didn't even hear you say it in the Patreon yet. I'm behind on that episode. And I'm going to tell you right now, it does sound like, just from the first chance, you're pretty unhappy that he's...
Well, kind of sounds like you're being a douche.
Well, I mean, that's how we show love to each other.
It doesn't feel very sturdy right now.
No.
By the way, people,
it feels pretty unsturdy. That's a very unsturdy move.
Versus The Force Awakens. No, it feels like a sturdy move. I could be an asshole sometimes. You gotta get the juices flowing.
I want to say asshole. I'd say instigator.
Get it moist in here. Get it moist in here, you know? People love
nice
the
and moist.
Yeah, moisturizer. Getting moist in space.
Sometimes back in the day, just real quick, I'm starting.
That's why it's not called wetting up. It's called moist.
Yeah.
It's a great word.
It should be wetting up.
Grandmas.
I would take girls to the bookstore back in the day, and we would go to like the adult book section and be like, all right, we got to grab one book. And like either I pick the page or she would pick the page, and then like pick the page, and you got to read the first sentence you touch. Like you skim and then you touch it. And the very first, I remember
a lot of touching going on.
A lot of touching. Yeah, the sensualism of the words, the romanticism. But the first line I think I ever happened to me on, it was "She grew moist."
That's awesome.
And it was like, that's the best line ever. And I close it. It's like, this is over.
I kind of like wetting up now.
Oh, he grew moist.
Hashtag wetting up.
Hashtag wetting up.
Hashtag wetting up. This is what we do here.
Hey ladies, do you feel down? We're wetting up.
Wetting up. Things could be worse.
Oh man,
the force keeps awakening for James.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on.
There's an insurrection at his house with his internet.
This is the force wettens up.
No updates. The force wettens up.
Every time James gets bonked out of here, we move in a certain direction, and it's funny because it's kind of like the movie Cube.
I like that movie. Those movies.
Movie.
They were something. I want to see the Asian version of it. But anyway, guys, how the fuck is it going? How are you guys doing? How's everybody's weekend going so far?
Pretty good, man.
Not bad.
Nice.
Not bad.
How about you, James?
It's raining. It's rainy, but other than that, it's good.
Raining like an asshole out there.
Yeah, here too.
Yeah, it's raining out there. It's got a little Black Velvet on. Feeling good, feeling nice. Great song. Great fucking song.
Yeah, Sturdy's in a mood.
He wants
I
that
am.
roll.
I'm in a good mood, man. You know, you throw in a little Black Velvet. You know, call Mick. You got Mick Velvet on the episode with you guys with us tonight.
It's just a little bit smaller than Black Velvet. No. Get it? Because there's 5 letters in black and there's only 4 letters in mix. So it's a little bit smaller than Black
It's a little
Velvet.
shorter. It's a little less material.
So she's saying, Mick Velvet is a 2-minute ride.
I'm just saying.
Hashtag wetting up.
I didn't even think of that when I went on that tangent.
Wow.
I really hope my son, who I told I was going to give a shout out on the show tonight, isn't watching yet.
Yes. Quick. You know what? Before we go any further, if you have any nieces, nephews, whatever you want to give a shout out to, or your child, now's the time to do it. And it's probably not going to last long because we're very immature adults. Because I have a shout out too, but
I'll go first because your show, and you can finish off last. But I want to say to my oldest, Tommy, you know him as my co-host on War Factor Fiction podcast, Star Trek Rewatch. It's my birthday. It was just his birthday last week. Just turned 12, but a happy birthday,
buddy.
And he went out and he bought me a Star Trek Time magazine because he knows I collect Star Trek stuff. So I'm going to put it in a shadow box, hanging up on the wall. But I just wanted to say thank you to him for being a great co-host and a great son. So
that's awesome.
Love you,
Awesome.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
awesome.
Oh man, I wish I was there for that because you know that Big Bear cried.
I didn't cry. Actually, I kind of messed up. I made a stupid error as a dad.
Uh-oh.
So my wife goes, "Hey, you know, you can't wait to see what you." I was joking with her because she's like, "I can't wait to see what you got for your birthday," and I go, "Is it what I asked for?" And she goes, "Oh," and she caught on to the joke and goes, "Oh, you asked for stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, I knew it wouldn't be." And she goes, "Well, Tommy got you this," and I'm like, "Don't do that." I'm thinking he's talking about you. And he's standing right there. I'm like, I love it. Like that for him to think about this and like put it together because we are connected with Star Trek and that's our thing.
Yeah.
One of our things. But yeah, like it was so wonderful. And like, yeah, Big Bear cried on the inside. He had friends over, so I don't want to cry on the outside. Big Bear doesn't need to show his tears when the friends are over.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's different. That's a different kind of wetting up.
That's a river wet.
Wild ass shit. Can you imagine some kids like, man, Tommy, your dad was over there wetting up when you gave him that book for his birthday?
That should never be exclaimed that way. Kids should never adopt that. We should immediately take away this hashtag and
It's
burn
too
it.
late. It's already out there. Wetting up. I like it. Wetting up. It can mean anything. Anything. Gangs can use it if they want. Yeah, I was wetting up the block. That could mean anything. They're banging a bunch of chicks, or they were shooting up the street,
Chris,
or they had a water gun fight. You never know.
Chris, I'm going to need you to go ahead and do something of prominence. So it requires you to write some sort of autobiography. You know, and you can call it Wetting Up.
Oh, that's what my book would be called.
You know what? You make a
all our
compelling
autobiography
point
should
that
be
I need
called.
to write this just to title something wetting up.
Yep.
I would call it Wetting Up, Stories from a Bar.
Oh, yes.
I want to write a book just so I can call it wetting up. I
Yeah,
don't even
there you
care
go.
what's in
Wetting
it.
The wetting up stories from a bar.
Or buy a bar and call it Wetting Up.
Oh,
It actually works. It's like, come on in, let's get wet.
The only bar you have to sign a waiver when you walk in the door. Yeah.
You don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh, man.
Have you ever seen a Gallagher show? Well, it's like that with ping pong.
Shit. Oh God. Oh, I'm there.
Tommy, if you're watching, get off of here. You don't have to do this
Oh
anymore.
shit! Really quick.
Yeah,
Shout out to
yours.
my nephew Rylan out in Colorado. My brother Henry just texted me about a half hour ago and was telling me that his team just won the championship in basketball.
Nice.
So
Nice.
huge shout out to him. Congrats,
Oh,
proud of you. Keep doing it, and that's dope.
Yeah, man.
Just don't bring it. Don't bring your game to my yard because I'll fucking
I feel bad. Let's get
Slam that.
really big for that because that is a huge accomplishment. Yo, Rylan, congratulations, man. That was
Yes,
Oh,
congrats.
yes.
Congrats. And Tommy,
Congrats.
happy birthday. Happy birthday. And you got your dad a
Oh no, we got
dope
excited
present.
for. I love Tommy. Tommy, we got excited for you. I wanted to get excited for Rylan.
Yeah, you got excited
I want
for
to do
both.
both kids.
Now,
There you
listen,
go.
children, get the fuck out of here. And I'm saying it like that because you're not going to listen if I say it nice. Am I right?
Well.
The first time you tell a child to do something, they just fucking sit there like they're deaf or like you spoke a completely different language. Yo, get the fuck out of here. You don't got to yell. Yes, the fuck I do because you don't listen any other time. I told
I am
you 18
texting. I'm
times. It's
texting
like I
him now,
told you
saying,
18
"Okay, stop watching."
I told you 18 times calmly to go. You didn't listen. Get the fuck out.
And for all you Star Trek and Star Wars fans out there,
Yeah.
Get the fuck in here.
Welcome.
We're about to
21 and up.
wetting up in space.
Yes,
Welcome
we're wetting up in
The
space.
insanity.
kind of a little
Of
bit.
popcorn and pints. That's what you're gonna get from here. So we might as well start with the erection movie.
I got a
Erection?
no, I just found out today.
Eye contact
la-
or erection, you got to make a choice.
Yeah. So last week we skipped because we took the weekend off. I watched the wrong movie last week. I watched Genesis last weekend.
Did you
Jesus, James.
So I'm glad we missed it because I would have went in thinking where you watched Genesis.
Wait, Genesis? Which Genesis or Nemesis? You mean?
Nemesis, my bad.
Oh, okay, cool,
Nemesis.
cool. Yeah, that's it. That's the one after. Well, at least you're ahead.
There you go. That's the last. That's
So
the
I was
last
like,
one. The
fuck.
last.
I would have
Picard
came in. I'm
included.
like, what are you guys talking about?
What's happening? I would have been, yo, the funny thing is I don't know these movies that well, so I would have been thrown off like I watched the wrong movie, and Mick could have been like, James, you fucking idiot. You watched the wrong fucking movie. You're sturdy over here, confused.
I think next time you do one of these, I might do that. Just throw you guys off a little bit. Just be like, no,
That'd
it's
be
wrong
fun.
order.
All right, Mick,
You're
whatever,
on the
man.
wrong podcast.
But who wants to kick it off? James? Chris?
I think James should now.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, James. Kick it off. Insurrection.
Let's start.
Yes, sir.
It's just okay. I say 5.
5?
Did I freeze?
Ooh. No, you did a little bit. You're back. You are back.
And now he's frozen. So there he goes.
All right,
in time-
Chris,
Well, at least we got a rating out of him.
Yeah, we got. I mean, we got a rating. Do we
did
need
get
him
a
again?
rating, just in case. Just in case. What about you, Chris?
I'm gonna go 6.
He's back.
No, you.
Um,
Is it my turn?
yes,
I
sir,
don't know.
Nicholas. Velvet. I'm sorry.
I like Insurrection. I'm gonna. It's a good comfort movie for me. 7. I'll go.
Okay. I'm with James. I'm at about a 5 with this one. I'm at about a 5 with this one. It didn't really. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. It was all right.
And I get it too. I get like, especially coming off of First Contact, but when you get to Nemesis, which James has, clearly Insurrection is the second best of all of the next gen movies. So it's like, yeah, all right, it's a comfort movie because Nemesis is not getting a high number at all.
Ooh.
I'm probably gonna like it. Watch.
I hope not. The only person who could back me up on that, right?
Is me. Why didn't watch it yet? But we'll see. We'll see.
No, it's James.
Oh, James.
He watched it already.
Can't hear you, Jamesy Wamesy.
I put it on mute. My bad.
There you go.
I will admit the budget for this one did because the computer battles were more computer generated this time around. It was like completely so like it, and it was very grounded. It's an away message episode, which I've always said like the third in any franchise, third film in any franchise is an away mission.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it represents what an away mission episode means. So like this one is clearly like they're protecting the planet. You're barely in space until later.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's a
Kind of like a throwaway.
Yeah, it's a grounded episode. It's one, well, I wouldn't say a throwaway. Like if it were an episode of the show, it would be a good episode.
or a filler, maybe.
Yeah, it would
more of
just
a
be like,
filler than a throwaway.
this was just an away mission. You know, they're doing their thing, but there was huge repercussions to this away mission with with Starfleet helping try and basically commit genocide. Like it's so like, you know, going against orders and creating this insurrection. Weirdly enough, when we think about insurrection, we think about what that day, which I don't want any strikes on anybody for, but this is a perfect representation of what insurrection means. You know, like going against your government, going against, you know, all, you know, to protect the little guy, you know, when you know, and so it's, I do like what this movie represents too.
Yeah.
Did everybody give their score?
Yeah.
All right. I give a 5.
Oh, yeah, no, we got yours. We got yours
Yeah, we
too.
got yours.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. You did hear it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and you gave it a 5. Chris gave it a 6, and Mick Velvet gave it a 7.
After a certain point.
Yeah, it just felt like an episode of, like you said, it felt like a just like a real. I watched a good episode. It didn't feel like a movie. So,
Just out of curiosity, they never work in a Reading Rainbow reference, right?
I don't think so. I don't remember
in any
anything.
of these movies, because I haven't noticed one yet, and I really feel like it's a missed opportunity.
I love that he brought that up.
They have a Reading Rainbow episode where it's completely on the set of Star Trek, and it was like an hour long. It's up on YouTube. You can watch it.
Oh,
So
did it? Okay.
it's a fun episode because they go behind the scenes and he's leading you on there, and he was one of the stars of it. So it was kind of cool.
Really?
It's a good one, and like everybody gets involved and is talking, because like that's what I love about this cast. Everyone in this cast, no one hates each other. They're all family. They still have game. They talk about it. They have game nights, like card night, every week. You know, whenever somebody can join, if they're not filming or something. Like, so, and that's why they all like jumped in for that 3rd season again. Like, this is a very rare occasion where everyone in the cast like is like a family, and still to this day they get together, and there's never been any scandals or controversies. It's actually been known as like this cast is just perfectly formed. Like that's why this is considered the perfect crew, is because it's, you know, they got along in and out.
That's awesome.
That's why I like these movies too, because there's something comforting about them. Even with Nemesis, like it's a dog shit movie, but it doesn't mean that I love all the people. I love seeing everyone, you know.
But the movie sucks.
It's so bad.
I can't fucking wait. I cannot fucking wait.
It's so it's not Rodor bad. That's like so bad, so good.
That movie was gorgeous. I love that movie. I love that freaking movie. Rodar? Oh my god. You guys gotta go see that shit. But we're not here for that. Again, go check out Sturdo Vision for Rodar and you'll see why. Just watch that episode and then watch on Tubi.
Worf going through Klingon puberty, I enjoyed.
With the pimples.
Klingon puberty.
I love it.
Klingon fucking puberty, man. Come on.
You know what's a cool one about this one? There's no star date said in this one. It's the first time in Star Trek there was no star date said.
Oh, they don't announce whatever fake year it is.
Yeah.
Whatever fake year it is. I didn't even realize that. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's subtle. A lot of times people kind of drown that out because they get right into the captain's log. But yeah,
no, but it's something that like it's something I just didn't realize it didn't say it, but it's something I notice when they say it. Like I notice it every, you know, because they say it every episode. Like I've watched Next Generation, you hear it every episode. So, which makes me want to go back and watch that. Thinking about that, I should start that season. Anyway, enough about that. James, you scared me. I thought you froze again.
He did.
Dude, I don't know what's going on.
Dude,
it's the rain, probably.
It could be. You know, Sturdy and I are experiencing the exact same weather, but you know, James is.
James just like was.
James is wetting up on the inside. It's not just the outside over there.
Yes, something's going on with my internet. I don't know if it's my
Yeah.
router or what, but something's going on.
I'm trying to refresh myself because I watched this. I prepared to watch this movie last week, and then we took the week off. So I fucking forgot that I've even seen this movie. This is number one is controlling the ship with like a fucking joystick at one point, right? Is this?
It's yeah, this is where they pick. Yeah, because it wasn't the last one; it was this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. So the
It's-
planet regenerates like cells and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's what's keeping the civilization alive for 300 years.
Hmm.
The crew being on the planet feels rejuvenated. Because now he's all over the one girl whose name I can't remember in the crew, who shaves his face. They take a bath together.
Yeah, Anji, I think her name was.
Yeah, he's weird.
Yeah.
By the way, it was weird to see him clean shaven.
Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of the main woman on the planet. No, it was Troy who shaved.
Oh, yeah,
Riker.
Picard was after the main woman on the planet.
Yeah. No, I thought for a second there, and then the shaving, I was like, wait, no, what am I talking about? That was Riker. You know, his first season, or first 2 seasons, he didn't have the beard.
Did he not?
Yeah, it was so baby faced too. So it was for this, when he did, he was like anxious to get rid of the beard because it had been years and he thought this was it. So like he made him, he was like, you're shaving it. So if I come back, I don't have to have a beard. You know, because you have to do it on screen, because if you come with it, people are going to get pissed. But so seeing her do it, that was why they did it. They're like, if we had to do any more, I don't want a beard. Doesn't matter. Very next movie, beard.
It doesn't matter. Very next movie, beard.
Which I listen, with or without a beard, I think, hey, I love Frakes. I think he's great.
But with the beard, it stands out. It stands out. It's like people. I think that's why people like it so much,
I'll say
because
it straight up. I think he's sexier with the beard. I think it dignifies him.
Oh yeah,
But without the beard, he still has a stoicism. He's still a good-looking guy with like
it
a.
does. See, I can't grow a good beard, and it bothers me still. Like
Yeah,
I just fucking suck it. I can't grow a solid beard.
But you have a face that it looks fine without a beard. Like there are some people who, like, if I shave, it's like, come on, man, put it back on. You know, like
Yeah, I can't either.
Come on, man, put it back on. Oh my god. Fuck.
No, I like this. I like the idea of the other faction who desperately wants this planet are
descendants of the people on the planet. Okay, yeah, that was a neat twist. I will certainly give it that.
And it added that desperation of them trying to look for any other way to be young, but they realize they need that planet, and they don't. But they can't even remember why they hate them so much.
Yeah.
So
that's funny? Like, you be beefing with somebody something so long you forget what the beef is all about. Like, shit, man.
That's happened.
Oh, I know. I know.
Hatfields and McCoys.
That never went away. They still hated each other all the way to the end.
But I really don't got much more to say about this one.
I don't really have a lot.
Say too much about this one. I'm with you. I watched this last week too.
I think that's why there's a fatigue to it. You've been watching on Star Trek and Star Wars. Now you're like 2 weeks of free because you watched them.
Yeah.
It's like, and I like Insurrection a lot. It's a comfort movie.
They weren't
standouts.
standouts.
Need to like I have to once a year watch Con and First Contact. You know, in fact, First Contact Day comes up in April, so like that's a big day for Star Trek. So like I would watch it then too.
Nice. So I was gonna say, as far as if this episode right here was when we were doing the big three, it would have been fucking fine. We would have been fucking fine. Like, you know what? I watched that shit last fucking month. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Oh, this movie for me was like, if this was just an hour-long Star Trek episode, because you could have cut some stuff out of this. That would have been a great episode, a series.
Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
I could see why you say that. I could
Yeah.
see that.
I agree.
Movie wise, I'm like, okay, it's not bad, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much this stands out.
This has some big highlights to it. It's a well directed movie.
Oh yeah.
And it's like it's a good story. It's just like I said, like it's first contact. And you get to this, and like 2 weeks in a row after you watch it, you're like, this is a big drop off from that movie, because it was so where that was huge, and kind of like the scope of it was really big. You're fighting space, you're down on in the past, there's time travel, everything. The bad guys in this have never been seen before. It's making Starfleet bad again. They're doing something nefarious. Our favorite crew is now going against Starfleet. So there's a lot of elements to it where it's like, yeah, I like this for an episode before a movie. Fans know that we get a limited time or a limited amount of movies. And if they don't do well, you're probably not going to get this crew again. And it's like, I don't know that I wanted this to be the last one.
You're so fucking right with that.
And then you get Nemesis, and you're like, well, I like Insurrection.
So you forced it on me, dick.
Yeah. They didn't even.
I guess we'll find that out next week.
Yeah, I can't wait. I love bad movies. I love bad horror movies like Rotor. Oh my god, I can't stop thinking about that movie.
It wasn't bad. That was a masterpiece of debaclement.
I like that. Masterpiece of debaclement. We'll have to do something with that. Let's table that for a later discussion. On to Force Awakens, gentlemen. Were we good for that, or you guys have anything more to say about?
I'm in. That's right.
Let's move on.
It's weird. Now I'm starting to wonder if I liked Force Awakens more than Insurrection.
I'm like in the middle with this. First of all, and I made this clear last week, I do not like Darth Vader's grandchild at all.
I'm going to have a lot to say about this movie, by the way.
I'm happy you will. I think you need to, because
Insurrection is just kind of like, I like it.
Yeah.
You know, there's things I don't like. There's things I do like. But Force Awakens, there's things I have to talk about.
Okay. Let's get into it.
All right. Well, do we want to wait for James or do ratings or?
No, he just messaged the group and said he's not going to make it back. He doesn't know what's going on with the internet. I just told him all good.
No, sorry, we missed you, Brody.
He's wetting up too much. He got on the keyboard.
Yep.
All right. Where to start with this movie? Well, you guys talk about it first, and then we'll see.
You know what? I'm gonna give it a 7. By the way.
Okay, so I'm going to give it a 5. James just said he gave it a 6. And
I would give this a 6.5.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would put it right in the middle of you guys, because I think it could warrant a 7 if there was a couple other things that were different.
See, I don't know. For me, first off, maybe it was just the nostalgia of seeing Leia and Han Solo on screen, and the characters again after so long, killing off Solo. I don't have the idea of the story of Kylo Ren being Han's son and that being his death. That sounds like the basis of an awesome movie.
Yeah, would have been that would have been a great movie to touch down on. But
yeah,
we got this.
So, and I don't know. I don't dislike the new characters. John Boyega gets on my nerves. Honestly, Rey and John Boyega both get on my nerves a little bit. But I love BB-8 and seeing him interact with R2-D2. Like, that was the thing for me. I'm like, they're gonna bring in the new robot character. Everyone loves R2-D2. Like, how are you gonna respond to this? And I feel like, I fucking love this little guy too. And then when he, at the end, when R2-D2 comes awake again and they're interacting, it's like an older brother and little brother in robot form. That was fucking hysterical.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's a great way to put that. I love that. Yeah,
it was awesome.
There's
that was probably some of the best parts of the movie is the robot interaction, in my opinion. I really did not care for this movie. I may drop it down to a 4.
Wow.
And I think what really got to me was that motherfucker being Darth Vader's grandson. Like, that just really bothered me because they made me maybe not for you guys, but for me, they made me feel like he really took after his grandfather. I'm just like, he's nothing like him. I just fucking watched 3 movies with him back to back to back, and he's nothing like him. Shit, he's softer than him when he was a fucking kid, racing the fucking things. Fucking what was it, Phantom Menace?
There's
Oh, and real quick, by the way, all you guys that bullied that kid out of acting, fuck all of you. That's fucked up. He was a child.
Yeah.
Fucking
I
acting.
do not, and even Hayden Christensen, like if you had watched any other movie at that time or before that Hayden Christensen was in, he's a phenomenal actor, even at that age. So when they were even blaming him, so Jake Lloyd and they are what happened to them and so many others in the Star Wars franchise and from the so-called Star Wars fans, the purists or whatever they are. It's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting what they did to so many actors and more in the industry. Like it's just it's despicable. And that poor kid, he was a child, dude. A child, and his life was so derailed.
What I'll say about this too is like I understand like there's actors you may not like or you may hate, like you know how I feel about Nicolas Cage, but I would never ever I would never bully somebody no matter how I feel about them or try to get them like to quit their job. That's how they provide for themselves and their family. Like that's just sick.
Like when we first started watching these movies, I mentioned how I hadn't even bothered. I didn't want to watch Star Wars. I had no interest in it or anything. I didn't watch the first set of Star Wars trilogies, maybe till I was like at least in my teens and shit like that. And it's one of the reasons is because the fandom, there's just like anybody that takes anything too seriously, there's too many assholes out there.
No.
Like, yeah, sure, it was great, but you can't. It's like they got stuck in that moment. Like nothing will ever live up to it. I'm like, dude, you take this so seriously. I don't want to fucking hear it anymore.
Well, I agree. There's those toxic fans and they suck because they ruin it. They ruin experience and the whole nine of it. And they're trying to ruin lives over it. And you shouldn't. It's like, calm the fuck down. But what the problem with that is on the flip side is you have a company that took over Star Wars, which was so endeared and loved and beloved by so many, and they have continually fucked it up.
Yeah,
like really, I'm sorry, The Mandalorian. And listen, I like the Andor, I like the Ahsoka, I like, there's a lot of different things and the animated series set aside, it's kind of like the DC effects. Like the animated series are phenomenal.
Yes, which I would love to have a conversation about that actually one day. About actually this episode, but go ahead. I want you to finish your statement.
They're phenomenal. And they're so well done. Not everything was a super hit, but like even like they're little kids, like young Jedis, where it's Yoda teaching the younglings and them going on adventures on Disney Junior or whatever. I've seen it with my son, and they're good. They're fantastic for that age range. So like, but then you get up to the movies, and it's like you have, besides Rogue One and The Mandalorian, you've either colossally fucked everything up because you had no plan and you're trying to be too woke or this, that, and the other thing. And don't get me wrong, representation matters, everything else, and I'm all for it, but there is too woke sometimes, and it's fucking ridiculous.
I hate when it's forced. Like when it looks and I don't mean forced like forced on set because you need to open it up. What's good, George G3? But I mean more so of like where it doesn't fit in the series, the show, the episode, the movie. Like it has to fit and make sense for whatever you're trying to put in that story, no matter what it is. But it's like, I understand representation matters. Yes, that's very, very important. But at the very least, I'd say if you want to put that representation in the movies, maybe at the very, have those people in the writers or have those people helping direct these films and all that other stuff as well, because that's just as important as having these representatives in the films. But
yeah, but most of these fucking companies learn what representation or being woke is through whatever's trending.
Oh yeah, well of course.
You know, it's not like let's look into it, learn. It's just so
No,
I don't want to get into all that, but like it
it's
did ruin this series.
it's let's go on Twitter. Oh shit, they're hashtagging. Okay, it's the LGBTQ. It's the blacks again. Okay, let's do this. Let's mix this up.
No, but it did ruin this series because, again, look what they did to Finn in the next one, and then they introduced the I can't remember her name, but she played Rose, and you'll see her in the next movie and the movie after that.
Mhm.
Destroyed her life. That poor girl, like that, destroyed her life. You know, Daisy Ridley left the internet for a long time.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
10 years or something like that. That where she was like, I can't deal with these people, and she doesn't go towards big blockbuster movies anymore. She's returning to the series because it feels like she's finally going to get to have her story. But who knows if they're going to fuck that up or Captain Marvel it or something, you know? And I hope they don't because she's good. I like Rey.
Yeah,
I like her in that role. I didn't mind that. It's just the whole story around it was a debacle. It really was.
It's so weird how people get, and I honestly feel like when people get like that, to where you're making those type of threats. Not where you're talking. I don't even want to say we were talking shit like, oh, so and so sucks, this, that, and the third. But when you're making absolute threats, like death threats and all that, there needs to be consequences to that. And I feel like it seems like it was never taken serious because now people take it too far with the Twitter and shit, or even going to people's homes and all. I'm like, this needs to be taken a lot more. Don't take it as
people
threat,
are
even,
certainly
even,
more accessible now. People see that a lot more now with social media and shit like that. But I mean, it's not limited to just movies. I mean, one of the things I think about is music. You fall in love with a band's album or something, and you're like, you can't write the same. If you're a band, you can't, and you don't want to write the same fucking shit over and over again. What's the point? It's just, you know, you have a diehard. That's the thing. You become a diehard fan of something specific, and then you don't ever want to see a difference again.
But I feel like with music, though, there's always something about an artist that you love, like your favorite artist that you love. That's all you always can pull from at least one song on their albums.
That's the thing. I think movies are different. You're not getting a set of multiple movies at one time.
No, you're getting this. You're getting
years.
this one. You're getting this story or stories here. You're not getting
But it's the same thing. People fell in love with the original trilogy, and they were like, they can't ever deviate or do anything unsimilar again because this was so great.
But but as a Star Wars fan and like a diehard since I'm a kid Star Wars fan, it's tattooed on me. I like shit. I have 3 posters behind me, unironically. Like I didn't put them up for this. Like they've been up there. Like Star Wars is a part of that holy trilogy is a part of my life, and the prequels will always hold a special place in my heart. And I like the shows. I said, like I like the Obi-Wan show, Ashoka, things like that. But if you don't like, it's what Marvel's going through now. So you know it's Disney fucking it up. It's like you've now interjected yourself too much. It's becoming like a WB product where it's looks horrible and it doesn't make any sense. And now they want to kind of retcon these movies down to like one and get rid of all the crap that they don't want. So then that way they can kind of soft reboot it after The Mandalorian and continue a new storyline. But they still want to keep Rey and they want to keep and it's like, but either just like reboot it or don't or try and connect it. You fucked up. It is what it is.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can't. Nobody fucked up or anything like that. But the way people react to taking a chance to somebody taking a chance on something, because nobody wants to make the same thing over and over again. So I don't blame anyone involved in trying to start some kind of new storyline or change something up, because as a viewer, I don't want to see the same shit over and over again. Even in this stuff I love, like I need variation at some point. I need new stories and shit like that. But God, people take this shit way too seriously sometimes. You can't just take it. It's fucking entertainment.
Yeah, and again, do what we do. Talk shit about on a podcast and go about your day. You don't have to take it any further to making threats to people and all this other dumb shit for what?
Yeah, and that's what bothers me more than anything else is the people acting in these movies. Any interview you read with these people, like they were fucking huge fans of this shit. Like they have waited their whole lives for a chance to be in something like this. and all they want is to do their best and fucking live in the moment, and they're getting torn apart for them trying to live in their childhood dream, essentially.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Like they're the same as the people watching these movies that love them so much, and you're tearing them apart because you're an asshole.
Yeah, and that's well put, and I appreciate you bringing it back around to that, because like when I went off it, I was thinking about it more from the lines of like a Star Wars fan like me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have no problem with Rey. Like, none of the actors bothered me. Even when everybody was going after Jar Jar Binks, I was like, yeah, he sucked in that first one. Don't get me wrong.
He was too much.
He was still a very small part of the first one. He wasn't like, he did big things that kind of led charges in certain ways, but he, time-wise, he was not a huge, like, the focus wasn't on Jar Jar Binks, like, you know. So I can still kind of be like, all right, tune him out. And then in the next two, like, you barely ever hear from him. You know, he's just kind of alive, letting you know. So I never felt like, oh, we have to go after this actor. You know, it was cool that he got his, you know, chance to shine, you know, after Jar Jar in the series. But as a fan, I never had any problems with the characters. It was the story. It always is. Same with Doctor Who. Like, I thought Jodie Whittaker, and I'm just, for fans who are fans of both of these, were probably fans of Doctor Who, so they'll get it too. Like, I was a fan of I like Jodie Whittaker. I think she's a good actor, and she took on the role of the Doctor well. But her entire run, with the exception of maybe one storyline, sucked. And they rewrote and changed everything about the Doctor, and like just tried to retcon everything and like fuck it up. You know, the whole lore to make it more woke towards women and make it, and I completely understand, but I was like, but no, none of us were mad that there was going to be a female Doctor. We're mad that you're basically like, the Doctor's always been woke, you know. So now you come to Star Wars, and that's how I'm correlating this. It was like, Star Wars was always a simple tale. It's not something that was woke. It's not something that was like, it was a simple tale we liked. It was an adventure story. And then you get to these, like, even the prequels are like, there's still a story about family. There's still an adventure. There's still like a tale there. Then you get to these, and it starts with this one. And the biggest fucking problems with this one are, is you fucking have a great introduction for Kylo Ren. You show him as one of the most powerful, possibly Sith on the planet, then tell us he's not a Sith and he's just a man baby the whole time. You get Harrison Ford back as Han Solo. I don't care that he died. He wanted to die. He wouldn't have come back if he couldn't have died.
No, I don't think yeah, exactly. You can't bring him back and not kill him at some point. Like,
yeah, and he wanted that. That's he said, if I come back, I want to die. I want a lot of money. I want to die. And they gave it to him. So good. And he did a great job. He didn't phone it in. It wasn't, if anything, it felt like Han Solo back. It felt like Leia back.
100%. I felt like they were the same character. They were the aged version of the character I expected to see.
Yeah.
What pisses me off is the fact that you have Mark Hamill, you have Han Solo, you have Harrison Ford, you have Carrie Fisher, you have Anthony Daniels, you have like basically the whole crew, and you can put like R2D2. Unfortunately, Kenny Baker had passed away at that point, but like, you can put R2D2 in there, and Peter Mayhew unfortunately passed away, but you can have at least Chewbacca there, and you don't have them together before Han dies, and at least like have them connect. And we haven't seen that since the 80s. Is infuriating the fans, because it's like, you just said fuck you to everyone, because they're all signed on to do this. They're all in this movie anyway. And you didn't put them together because Luke went into hiding. That should have never fucking happened. You had, like, JJ started something, and I think he started it with the intention that they might bring them back somehow, but you should have had it before Han died, or you should have worked it out with them where it's like, listen, this is a trilogy. If you're going to be a part about the whole thing, and had a fucking plan for the trilogy. I don't know. There's a lot of problems with this one. I'm sorry. But I do like it. Out of all of these, I do like it. Like, you know, it's still like another comfort movie, like, where I feel like it's a good adventure flick. You know, sci-fi adventure flick, a Star Wars movie.
Well, I just bumped it down to a 4 Because
don't forget Daniel Craig is a stormtrooper.
He is, yeah. He's an uncredited stormtrooper in this.
He is. He lets Rey free.
Yeah, so yeah, when she's like, "No, unlock and let me go," and she does.
Yep.
Kevin Smith's voice is in this too.
Really?
Yeah, I forget where it is, but his voice is in this too. Yeah, because he's always, I mean, he's like the king of the geeks. In my opinion, if you're going to crown anybody in this day and age like the king of geeks, it would be Kevin Smith. I mean, he basically made podcasts famous. He, you know, like he knows everything about everything, and he's a Jersey.
That's fair.
I love him.
That's fair.
Yeah, he's one of those. He's definitely one of those.
He's wetting it up over there in Jersey.
Oh,
And I would still argue that to this day, there's not even Tarantino. To this day, out of that whole crew of indie filmmakers, he's still the most punk rock out of that crew because he's still doing it indie. His way, too.
Yeah. I can't disagree. He's tried to go the big.
He has. Well, I think he's been given the big budget route.
He's given that opportunity,
which works, but he still remained, and he went back, wetting it up.
Wetting it up.
Gotta be. I did it right this time. Forgot the other T the last time. And
is it wetting it up or wetting up?
Wetting it up. Both.
No, wetting up.
It's wetting up.
Wetting up.
Well, wetting up. You know, wetting up.
Hashtag wetting up. But it's WETTIN'. Wetting.
That can't be a hashtag though if you have the apostrophe.
Yeah, this is the Force definitely got awoken in this, but not to nothing good.
Nah, it was just, and it sucks because again,
I mean, it's I don't know. There's this.
We came off of the big three, and then came to this shit.
It's you have the original trilogy, then you have Phantom Menace trilogy, which it establishes that original trilogy, but doesn't connect, but doesn't have the same characters or anything like that. And I think what it was when Force Awakens come out is now you're seeing the characters that everyone fucking nutted over to begin with. And I think that's what's keeping it up there for me a little bit. Because Harrison Ford comes back. He's exactly like I would imagine aged Han Solo to be.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher as Leia. They still have that chemistry. The Mark Hamill as Luke running away and not showing up till the final scene of the movie. Like that was disappointing.
Yeah, and can I just add to that as you were saying it? Let's think about the last time it chronologically we saw Luke. What was he doing? Desperately trying to save his father from the dark side.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did not give up and succeeded. He succeeded.
Dude, this was one of the big things for me watching Kylo Ren talking about how he wanted to finish what his grandfather started. I'm like, Luke got through to him at the end.
Yeah. He
I'm
did
like,
it.
what? That was the biggest like plot thing for me. I'm like, dude, was this not relayed to him at some point?
It's because what it is I don't want to give away stuff that's going to happen. Not even in the next fucking movie because they don't explain anything that can. There's no bridge between. In fact, I will say this now before we get into it. I think the next movie's premise is a fantastic premise for Star Trek, not for Star Wars. And I was like, it was like if this was a Star Trek movie or episode, we'd be in.
What's the name of the next one?
The next one is The Last Jedi, which still makes no fun.
Okay. It's Last Jedi and then Rise of Skywalker, right?
Yeah. So like you're gonna find out why he would believe that about his grandfather. He's being manipulated by Snoke.
Okay.
And then when you find out who's pulling the strings on Snoke, which was done fucking terribly, by the way, and forced because whatever. We'll get there next week. But so Snoke has his strings being pulled, and we'll find out who they're from. Oh, it makes me sick to know. But it's just, why would Luke give up on his nephew? Why would Luke immediately try to murder him? And then when he became bad, I guess, got the other Knights of Ren, just leave and go into hiding and not try and turn him back or teach him the way. Like it's infuriating. It's just really like it's like the people like JJ. I'm sorry. I like your Star Trek movies, but it's like you don't know Star Wars well enough, or you don't care about these characters well enough, and you don't because you gave up on the second one just to be brought back for the third one and try and fix it, and it just doesn't fucking work. Throughout the whole thing.
I'm at a loss for words. Again, we came off the big three, which I fucking enjoyed. I really loved, and then we had this shit.
Interesting question. Because I don't know if I asked this yet. Let's say the original trilogy that came out in the 70s and 80s wasn't the original trilogy as we know it, but started with Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
Do those, let's say they make Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. That's the original trilogy. That comes out at that time. How do people feel about that? And then seeing A New Hope and so forth, however many years later.
They'd be smash hits, and I can tell you why. And I guarantee you, anybody watching or listening to this who's a Star Wars fan is probably saying, this fucking guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And all I'm saying is, hear me out.
I'm listening.
If you had to take those three premises that he put together, first of all, let's just take the first one. Let's just take Phantom Menace. Because remember, he wrote Star Wars A New Hope, and there were no sequels. He did not write the trilogy. When it did really well and he knew they were going to want it, he wrote 2 more movies because he said it was a trilogy. He said he had more ideas to go with. So he had the plans. Don't get me wrong. But he did not write that film to be a trilogy. It didn't say episode 4 when it first came out. It came out later because he realized, I have this whole plan. I have this whole idea of this world built, and I want to expand on it. So that's great, and I'm glad he did. But that's why if you take the Phantom Menace and he's like, okay, I'm going with this. You go back to 1976 or whenever when they start filming, or even when he's writing it, he's constricted. There's no pod race in that. You know, there's certain elements because he was able to get away with them in the 90s versus the 70s. Writing wise, he was like, it opened them up more. And I think that hurt things a little bit because we needed to be more grounded in this in the beginning, personally, and really be focused on the main people we needed to be focused on. And we weren't. It was very big. It was very bright and flashy and spectacle. We didn't need that. The original movies have a lot of grittiness to them. So I think if you take Phantom Menace and you make it grittier, and actually now he has to start focusing in on what the Jedi are, who the Sith are, what the ultimate plan is, you're going to get a better told story all throughout. It's going to be better acted. It's going to be more fleshed out, and we're going to really enjoy it, and it would spark. Then if they don't continue on with his next, like if he jumped ahead, I think you could, and I'd flip it. You could take the original Star Wars and you could update them. It has been proven and has been done in many different forms or variations where they have taken the Holy Trilogy and they've like kind of rebooted it a bit, not in movie form, but in other things. And it works. And I think you could do that in 1999 and all those with the Holy Trilogy. They were strong enough movies in story and character and everything else. But if you bring those original movies back, they're going to get better and better, because George Lucas was giving up directing to other directors and having more of a collaborative effort. He didn't on Phantom Menace. He didn't, on the prequels as we know them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think great question. And I think that's why if they did, it would have been phenomenally accepted.
Well, it's not accepted by me is this fucking movie, man.
Listen, I mean,
I just didn't like it.
That's fair.
I gave it a 4. It's not a bad movie. I just didn't like it. Like, I won't say it was a horrible movie. I just didn't.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it like rabid Star Wars fans do or anything like that. I mean, I enjoy it for what it is. I like the new characters. I like Rey.
Oh my god! I just realized
Uh-oh.
the two worst movies in both franchises are going up against each other next week.
Nice.
Wow.
That's gonna be fun as shit.
Again, BB-8. I just want a fucking hour-long adventure of R2-D2 and BB-8. That's what I want. That's like a fucking TV episode.
Yeah,
buddy, a little big brother, little brother buddy comedy of those two.
It'd be funny if like he's getting bullied, and then like R2-D2, who's been a warrior for like 30 years, it just walks up and he's like, "I got this."
30. Shit, way more than 30 years.
Fair.
But I see what you're saying, though.
God, and we wasted it because once we lost Carrie Fisher, that was it. That was like, we can't get the three of them back together again.
Yeah, she died after the next movie, right?
While filming, so they weren't completely finished, so they had to fill some scenes. But
yeah,
god damn, man, like it's just and like that's what bugs me the most is like that's what I fucking hate when they do this and what Marvel's doing right now, what WB's been doing with DC forever. Like it's all about money. Like Marvel, you started with like, we don't believe in this, so let's just give it a try. Like we don't believe this is going to do huge but let's just do it. Let's do Iron Man.
Yeah.
Nobody gave a shit about. And I don't care who anybody says, there's maybe 1% of the population, I definitely wasn't one of them, who loved Iron Man. You know, before
I'll say I was always a fan because of the Iron Man cartoons and the Avengers That's what made me. That's what made me a fan across the board with the whole DC and Marvel. For the most part, with the cartoons, besides the live action Batman in '89. Well, I mean, I didn't see it in '89, but the '89 and whatever Batman Returns came out, just seeing those in the, in the '90s. The cartoon, and I did enjoy the early Superman movies. I haven't seen them since childhood, but I did enjoy them back then. I don't know how I'd feel about them now.
That first one is a fucking phenomenal movie.
But I forgot what the fuck I was.
I don't know.
You took over for me, so I was like, so it just pisses me off that like if you have these stars of this fucking franchise that people love and want to see up there again, and clamoring for years, and they are not spring chickens, they're older now, and it's like, what are you doing? Write something that's worthy of them coming back. Have 3 scripts written. Why can't you have 3 different teams collaborating on an overall arc and write 3 different fucking goddamn scripts for a trilogy? Pick 3 different directors that are working together or friends and can make the fucking movies, so that way the fans can be happy and they can make them simultaneously and just read one after the other and make a ton of fucking money in a short amount of time, and then start working on other stuff with those same writers or whoever else. God damn you, Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh man, it was just why, man? Why? You should have just left it at 6. Just stopped at 6.
Yeah,
I'm sticking with my statement of give me 4. Give me 3, 4, 5, and 6.
I like Rogue One.
You can give Mick Rogue One. I don't want
it. Fair. Don't blame
it. But I guess we could wrap this one up. Yep. The white guys are getting tired.
I am tired.
The Big Mick energy ends in like 2 minutes, and then I turn it.
There's a strict 60-minute limit on Mick Velvet.
Mick Velvet lives only last so long. No, I'm in it to win it, but I'm just like,
we're good.
Yeah, the stopwatch started at 9 p.m.
If you guys want to see more of Mick Velvet and the awesome content that he creates and his new Mick Velvet show or his new Mick Velvet character, you're going to probably start seeing it in the scene.
Hashtag wetting up.
Go over there and hashtag wetting up for Popcorn and Pints, wetting up for the scene snobs, and wetting up for horror.
I like that. Wetting up for. That's how we're going to lead into everything.
It's wetting this shit up.
But go check out the Scene Snobs, people. Go check out Popcorn and Pints. Go check out Stories from a Bar. Go check out Horror with Sir Sturdy. Check out the Zine Network. And you just go check out a bunch of dope horror creators. Go check out a bunch of content creators. Go check out your favorite ones. We're gonna get out of here. Thanks for popping by. Peace. Oh, and to infinity and